Are you a professional pillow fighter? Or a 9-to-5 low-cost time travel agent? Or maybe real estate sales on Mars is your profession? It doesn't matter. Whatever it is you do, however complex or intricate, Monday.com can help you organize, orchestrate, and make it more efficient. Monday.com is the one centralized platform for everything work-related. And with Monday.com, work is just easier. Monday.com, for whatever you run. Go to Monday.com to learn more.
Well, I don't see the point in waiting any longer. So let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
There was another moment in your life that you had a big, you were 13 and you got your first paycheck.
Oh, that was a good moment.
Yeah. And you were you worked for a land, and your father had already left at this time.
Yeah.
And you realized, oh, I can work and make money.
I mean, that's a good thing. I don't think kids who are 13 can get summer jobs anymore.
Right.
I mean, I was riding around on the back of a truck, on a tractor, like in the open air, like with not a seatbelt, on a tractor seat that was being hauled by a truck.
Right.
And I remember vividly one day with the guy who was driving the truck, went around a corner, and I was thrown off the tractor and like wound up in a gully, at the bottom of a gully, and they all stopped the truck and got out and were laughing hysterically at me as I was pricking the brambles.
Right.
Anyway, different world, right? But yeah, the experience of putting in a really hard day's work
and getting paid
was awesome to me.
Yeah, I agree. Also, one of your other jobs before you got Diner, you worked in a restaurant in Boston.
Oh God.
And you were the cook, and you had no idea how to cook, and your friend had like a day and a half to teach you how to cook. Is that correct?
He taught me how. That's correct.
So so you.
The restaurant was called Chez Michel. His name was probably Muhammad. He was Armenian, and he had worked 18 hours a day.
Right.
And he had a phobia about the kitchen. So when he walked in the kitchen, he would faint.
No way.
I swear to God.
And he opened a fucking restaurant?
Yes, and he slept in the storeroom on a sleeping bag on the concrete floor.
Like that was his home?
Yeah, with a TV that was in like amongst the canned goods.
Right.
And all the waitresses were
I'm
Hare
not complaining about my apartment.
Listen to this. Yeah. All the waitresses were Hare Krishnas.
No.
Yes, and the head chef was a guy named Eddie McMiniman, who was just a little Boston Irish son of a bitch. And he was literally 5 feet tall, mini man. And the night cook was this flamboyantly gay French guy named Jean-Pierre. So, and then me, right? So I'm in this cast of characters.
And you don't know how to cook, by the way.
I don't know how to cook. But I figured it out pretty quickly, except that every time I made pasta with like marinara sauce, it would get sent back. And I was like, what the I can't, why? I did this perfectly cooked pasta. Turns out the pasta sauce was in a big vat next to the barbecue sauce.
Oh my God, you put the barbecue
I was putting barbecue sauce on pasta. Anyway, once I figured out that.
Oh my God. Okay.
That was one of my jobs.
That might not be that bad though, barbecue sauce on pasta.
Maybe it's a thing. Maybe we'll just try it.
Right? Don't you think that'd be good?
Maybe if you knew beforehand that's what you're getting.
Right,
think,
exactly.
This is delicious.
Okay, so you work there, and that would be a great sitcom.
I mean, I'm telling you, except you wouldn't believe it. Because literally, Michael would come into the kitchen to scream at me, say, God damn it, Tim, you have to put... And he would collapse and fall on the floor. And the Hare Krishnas and me would pick him up and like...
Why were there so many Hare Krishnas? Like, so they had like a tail. They had no hair
They had their head shaved with the long
with
ponytail.
that thing coming out, in the back.
And I don't know why. You know, I mean, it was just like this weird place. But I actually have photographic evidence of this. I have a newspaper clipping of Eddie McMiniman and Jean-Pierre and Michael.
Oh my God,
And I would sit in the after work. I would sit in the storeroom with Michael, and we would drink together, and he would philosophize, and he would say, "Tim, you shouldn't be doing this. You got to get out of here. Get out of this business. You got to do something yourself." I mean, he was like encouraged me more than anyone else.
Wow,
Michael, Chez Michel.
Is he still around, Michael?
I don't know.
Okay, so you do dine. I sorry for that tangent, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so you do dine. You get. Diner, and this is, would you consider that your change of career job?
Well, I would have to consider it because after Diner, I never had to do another job again except acting. So that's a big moment for me.
That's amazing.
And I was 20. It was the day after my 25th birthday.
That is fucking unbelievable.
So that is, I'm going to knock wood.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's a good thing. I mean, and, I've had this weird and interesting career, and it's, sometimes I yearn for it to have been, made more noise or had more shine on it. But the truth is I can still go into a supermarket and, you don't want
that shit.
Cucumber. I don't want all that.
And you
shit.
want the people who
I've worked with those people,
right?
And I feel
it's horrible.
It's great. They have all this stuff,
I would hate it.
But they're closed off from the world,
right?
You can't.
And that's why, like for comics, when comics get really big and then they start believing that shit, when you were like, wait, that one used to be funny. It was like, yeah, because that one was living in the real world at some point, and now, you know what I mean? You got to really. Don't you think you have to be in the real world to...
I do. I mean, I think it happens to a lot of actors also when you get famous that you're no longer connected with the things that you observed that were funny.
Right.
Because you can't. You can't go to the movies. You can't go to the supermarket. You can't do anything without being mobbed. So you can't observe people the way you did.
And also, well, that's why I like New York better than LA too, because New York people will leave you alone. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But also, you don't know who your fucking friends are. Like, I know people who became really famous and then had a whole new set of friends. It was like, they're not your fucking friends. They're your friends because you're famous.
Well, also, listen, if you can't go to an airport and you have to fly on a private jet, then eventually all your friends are going to be the people who fly in the private jet with you.
Right.
Or, go to the private room in the restaurant.
Right.
Because you can't be with regular folks because it's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's not happening for me. So you're 25. Yeah. You do Diner. What's your next job?
My next...
and you're still auditioning, right? You still have to audition.
Yeah. I think
when do you get married, by the way?
Oh, God, soon after that.
Soon after. Okay.
But I went to... nobody knew what Diner was. MGM thought they were going to shelve it.
Oh my God! It was fucking.
They thought it was what they wanted was Porky's. Remember Porky's?
Oh yeah.
And they got Diner, which is much more weird and thoughtful and quirky. So I went and joined this theater company in Providence, Rhode Island called Trinity Rep. And I went off on this tour of India and Syria.
No way.
Yeah, and we were supposed to go to Egypt actually, but Sadat was assassinated, so
couldn't go.
Kibosh on that. And Diner, when I got back, I mean, when I left.
So you had no idea this was going to be a huge.
No, nobody knew. And my agents and everyone were upset because I chose to do theater as opposed to capitalizing on whatever.
Right.
And also, I made a lot of mistakes. I mean, I did make some stupid mistakes because I sort of thought I was a little snobby because I was young and stupid. And I thought, okay, Diner is now my artistic watermark below which I shall not fall.
Right.
Fucking idiot, because you don't have many things that are like that. You got to do.
But you think,
But you think this is going to be just nothing but these spectacular films are coming my way, and that didn't happen.
Right.
So I didn't do the things that people do to give them the popularity or the whatever the cachet to be able to do the more artistic things.
Right. So you love the theater. You love the fucking theater.
I'm going to tell you how I realized I love it.
How?
So when I was doing this play with my sister Tim Daly.
Oh, we haven't gotten to that yet, but we will. Okay. Downstairs.
And I was being driven home by this kid who, there's this car company. There's all these actors, right? These kind of out of work actors are, trying to.
Really? There's an actor car company?
Yeah, it's great. And so you talk to them. And so I'm driving home on a Sunday night and it's like 10:30 at night or something. And this guy says, so what do you like better? Like TV, movies, or theater? And I happened to look at the clock and I thought, right now, I said to him, right now, there's probably, between 6 and 10 million people watching me on television on Madam Secretary. Right. Hopefully 10, but who knows?
Right.
And I said, and I have no idea who they are. I don't know where they are. I don't know if they fell asleep. I don't know if they're eating a sandwich, having sex, sitting on the john. I don't know what they're doing.
Right.
But they are supposedly watching me. But I just did a play for 175 people, and I know exactly what happened.
Right.
I was in the room as I told the story, and I could feel what they felt about it, and I shared an experience with them. But with TV and film, you don't really share with anybody.
It's so different.
You give it away, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
And it never changes.
When I first got my first role on a sitcom, first, and I thought, oh, I'm on a sitcom. I don't need to do stand-up. I couldn't wait to leave after, the rehearsal and go do stand-up because I was saying someone else's words. It was antiseptic, you know what I mean? But to stand on a stage in front of an audience and be in the room, there's nothing like it.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to go over some things right now. You played Joe Hackett on Wings.
Correct.
And Steven Weber played your brother. All right. And I did an episode.
You did?
Yes.
Was I nice to you?
Yeah, you were nice, but you know who was really nice?
Steven Weber.
He was really nice, and Tony Shalhoub was really nice.
Well, he's the nicest man alive.
I mean, what the fuck? Does he have any faults?
Let's get him.
He has to have some faults.
Let's bring him down.
No, there's got to be something wrong. Is there anything wrong? I know what.
I'm so nice. I'm so talented. I'm so famous and successful.
Yeah, I did an episode where I was at a tall singles thing.
Oh, yes. I sort of vaguely remember that.
And I was like, oh, no one loves me because I'm tall. I was so stupid. But Tony and Brooke, his wife, because he was so nice to me, he's like, oh, you playing this weekend? And I said, yeah, I'm going to be at the Comedy Store. And they came to see me.
Wow. They're much nicer than me.
Yeah. And every time he sees me, he's like, that guy. Do you think anything? You think he has dead bodies in it? Like anything?
I know a few things.
You do?
Yeah, I'm not telling.
All right, good. Okay, so you did Wings, which was based on the Nantucket Airport. I have a house in Provincetown, and I used to tell everyone it was based on the Provincetown Airport because they're basically the fucking same thing. Okay. Then you were in The Sopranos. You played J.T. Dolan.
I did.
A screenwriter. You got nominated for an Emmy.
I did.
I mean, you're fucking amazing.
That was pretty good. I love being on The Sopranos. But I did David Chase's first TV show that he created.
Which one?
It's called Almost Grown. And it was like a dream. If HBO had been a thing,
right,
it would have been.
What was it about?
It was about this couple and about the history of their lives. So I played in any given episode. I played between age 17 and age 40.
That's fun.
It was awesome. There were there was makeup and
but the
wigs
same person.
Yeah, the same guy.
Duh. Yeah,
and so
that's amazing.
You see these kids in high school. And in 1965, and then 1972, they're kind of dissipated hippies. Right. They're married. They moved out from New Jersey out to L.A. And then in the present, which is like 1989, they're sort of yuppies. Right. Kind of, have kids.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it was great.
Did you ever, at this time, get, audition for something and that you really wanted and didn't get?
Countless things.
Really?
Oh, God. I mean, I can't even enumerate.
Like 30-something? Did you want to be on 30-something?
No.
Oh, I love that show.
No, I don't want to be on 30. But, countless things. But the one thing, the one thing that I did get was I was living in New York. And I think I was doing this play on Broadway called Coastal Disturbances. Mm-hmm. Young Annette Bening. Beautiful and young Annette Bening. Oh, she's hot. And so my agent sent me the script called Sex, Lies, and Videotape.
Oh, my God,
and
yes.
I was like, what is this? This is ew.
Oh, my God, I love that movie. All right, yeah.
And so I read it. I was like, this is kind of interesting. And so I go meet Soderbergh, and we talk, and I read a little bit. Mm-hmm. And he cast me as Peter Gallagher's character, not James Spader. And then he gets in a fight with the studio because he wants to shoot it in black and white. And so there's a couple months go by. And then I get David Chase's series. Right. And then the movie is back on again, and then there's the writer's strike. And Anyway, I couldn't do Sex, Lies, and Videotape, and my agents at the time said, don't worry about it. No, it's never going to see the light of day. Forget it. And like a year later, I'm reading the New York Times, Sex Lies and Videotape wins Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah.
And my heart drops out of my ass and rolls across the floor.
Wow. Did you pick it up?
I did. Put it back in.
Really?
Dusted it off.
Yeah.
It was kind of shriveled and dry.
Right. Wow. All right. That's not that. I mean, look at you.
Bad.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with a Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
You're married at this time. Like, you're a working actor who's married.
And I have children.
You have children. You're like a normal person.
Yeah. Ish.
You then play Pete Wilder in Private Practice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no comment on that.
That's a...
No?
No.
All right.
I'm not talking about that.
You now are playing Henry McCord
Mm-hmm.
on Madam Secretary.
Dr. Henry McCord.
Like, don't you think you're like the luckiest person? I mean, like, you're really good looking. You're really smart. You're really nice. You have 2 fucking amazing kids, 2 amazing grandkids. The hottest GF partner accomplice in the world. Like, look at you.
You're right. I mean, I am an extraordinarily lucky man, and it's funny. It's like getting old is kind of cool because,
right?
Like some shit happens that you don't expect you could deal with. Like, a couple of years ago, I broke both my legs, and
yes, in skiing.
And
I didn't get to that yet.
And it was good for me. It was really good.
Why? Because it made you stop?
It made me realize that you can't like regret and like feeling sorry for yourself.
Right.
It's absolutely useless. Like, like that happened, and now what are you going to do?
Yeah, but you were back up pretty quickly.
I was. You're
on Madam Secretary, which is a huge hit. I mean, it's like a major. Do you? I mean, like, and we were just talking before about your subway ride. Do people accost you on the subway?
Not really.
Wow.
I think that I apparently have a cloak of invisibility.
Wow.
Because about twice a year, I'm on an airplane.
Right.
And I'm sitting next to somebody, and we start to talk, and they say, "What are you doing?" I say, "I'm an actor." And they say, "Oh, what have I seen you in?"
Oh, I hate that.
And I say, which is like, I don't know what you've seen me in. But I say, well, currently, I'm doing a TV show called Madam Secretary. And they look at me and they say, "Madam Secretary, that's my favorite show.
Oh my God.
I never miss it. Who do you play?"
Oh my God, you fucking yes, you do miss it, asshole.
And I'm looking right at them and I say, I play the guy that looks exactly like me. And then they realize it's me, and then they blush, and then they get all weird, the way people do.
Yeah, I hate when the shit people say.
But I can cloak myself.
Right. You're like an everyman. Was it last year? Yes. I went to see you and your sister in Downstairs, which was a play written by Teresa Rebeck, for you.
Yeah.
And it was fucking amazing.
Thank you so much.
No, it was so fucking amazing. Like, it was so good. It was so good. And who's the guy that played the husband?
John Procaccino.
Oh my God, he was so good.
Terrifying.
Yeah, like
and the sweetest guy ever.
Like, the acting was fucking unbelievable. The story was unbelievable.
You're so nice. Thank you.
No, it was.
I think it's a great play.
It is.
It was.
You think you'll ever do it again?
I don't know.
Was it weird working with your sister?
It was kind of great. I think that I'm a good influence on her.
Really?
Yeah, because Tyne. Sometimes, in order to work, she has to work herself up into a sort of a rage.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
I get that.
And I don't want to spend my life being in a rage. You know,
Right,
I want to take. I mean, I'm so lucky, as you said, and I want to have joy in it. Doesn't mean that I don't work hard and get frustrated and all the things that human beings do. But I don't want to like have to steep myself in this rage to get out there. And for some reason, people are scared of Tyne. Except she's my sister, so I can say to her, Tyne, cut this shit. What the fuck's your problem? Stop getting so pissed off. Let's go out and have some fun. And then she goes, oh, okay. And then she's fine.
Oh, my God. I love her.
I love her, too. She's my sister.
She's amazing. You are you started, basically, the Creative Coalition.
No.
Well, you're one of the founded,
I've been the president for way too long, but it was there for like 20 years before I got there.
I know, but it's now there. You know, you became the president, and it's so important, the Creative Coalition. I mean, your original goal was to bring the arts to kids in rural areas, right? Who, you know, because we don't, and plus the school systems don't, it's all about sports.
Listen, our goal is to...
That was a great sentence.
Is to support and protect the National Endowment for the Arts, which, you know, has an arts program in every congressional district in the United States. So this idea that it's, you know, helping out fancy people is total bullshit.
I know.
It's the disenfranchised of the people in rural states who benefit the most from NEA. That's number one. And the other is, you know, we want and try to advocate for arts and public education, because it's been taken out of public education.
It's unbelievable.
And the thing is that it's important to know that we're not an organization that advocates for artists. We advocate for human beings, because what we know is that if you can, and listen, every kid thinks like an artist. I mean, I see my 2-year-old grandson, right? And there's the box that the thing I gave him, and I say, this is an oven, and I touch it and I go, ow, it's hot.
Right.
And he's like that. He's there.
Right.
It's like, okay, that's the oven.
Right.
And it's hot. And he touches it.
Right.
Ow. You know, I mean, so his imagination is open. He can see things that in any way he wants to.
Right.
And so it's not that I want him to become an artist, but I want to protect his and all children's ability to think like artists. Because, you know, if you can think like an artist, you're not maybe going to necessarily be, you know, Michelangelo. You might also be Albert Einstein or Steve Jobs or, you know, whoever. You thinking like an artist means being able to transform what you see and what you in the world
and make it a reality or
make it something else.
But, you know, I know as a, you know, I was 6 feet at 13. I mean, I wasn't popular, but I thank God I had the music department. You know, otherwise, I don't know what I would have done with like, I see it with my son, Ben, with sports, but you see how the arts can transform someone's life. You know, a kid who feels out of place, or a gay kid or a trans kid, anything, you know, how important to be part of a play or a production or a group of people and to feel loved and you know, it's what the fuck? How did he fucking become president?
Whoa, that was a transition.
Thank you. I can't. I'm trying to really hold it together, but you're
not doing too well.
I mean,
you know, you're falling.
I know.
Apart.
I don't understand.
I don't blame you.
He hates the. First of all, he won't even go to the fucking correspondence. Like he's the worst. Is he going to get reelected?
I don't know. Maybe if the Democrats can get their fucking shit together and not eat each other alive.
What is that?
They're just babies. They're egomaniacal babies.
I know. And I'm better than you. And you know, I just.
Listen, and I got to say this. I'm going to say this, and your readers, listeners are going to kill me.
What?
But I don't give a shit if the Democrats elect an old white guy. Like, just do it. So that we can get in there and then start working on some of this stuff.
I say we have to unite.
Yes, unite and just get a little control over the situation.
I do have one thing to say, though.
Yes.
And I am a member of the LGBTQ or STV. All right. But
I'm glad you said all those.
Thank you.
That made me happy.
Pete Buttigieg.
He's awesome.
I love him. But if there's a gay male president before a female president, I'm going to have a fucking issue with that. And I know a lot of people don't say that but it's like, come on already. There's so many let a fucking woman run this country. Maybe we wouldn't be in this fucking. Look at that. He's so dumb. He has dementia. He's like a fucking idiot. He's like the worst thing. And it's his supporters that. All right, whatever. So, you're doing a lot of great work with the Creative Coalition.
Thank you. That was like a huge thought bubble that just was.
I just
burst.
You also have a farm in Vermont.
I do.
And I love this story that your mother had instructions when she died that she wanted her ashes put in a box that you made in 5th grade and buried on your property in Vermont.
Yeah, it was very odd because my mother, you have to understand, since she was about 40 years old, like most people have pictures that the kids drew in school on the refrigerator.
Right.
She had her living will. She was ready. She was like, when I die, when I go, we're like, Mom, you're 40. You're not
dying.
You're
not dying right now.
But she was, trying to.
Right.
And so it was shocking when she actually had instructions about how she wanted her ashes dealt with. So, so I put them under this tree that she always loved in Vermont, and like a crazy, like sort of, peat bog Irish guy dragged these huge boulders, and I made this sort of shrine to her, and I sat there and I carved into one of the rocks her name, Hope. And it was a really wonderful thing to do because something about the physicality of it and just the moment of meditating on her and carving her name. And I'll tell you another quick story about this. So I have this crazy friend who's a designer. He lives in Texas, and I got a call from him. He said he was doing a motorcycle trip around the United States. He said, "Hey, can I? I'm in Massachusetts," and I said, "Come on up. I'm in the farm. Come and hang." So he drives up, and he says, "Listen." And I say, "Hey, how you doing, Mark?" He said, "I'm great." And he said, "Before anything else, I just want to tell you, I'm doing this essay, and I want you to think about this, and I want to know what people think of hope, what they think hope is." And he said, "I'm going to call it, I'm doing this journey." I said, "I'm going to call it the road to hope. So just think about what hope means to you." And I said, "Well, come right over here. The road to hope leads right here." And I showed him the thing that I carved, and he was like, "I can't believe it."
Wow, that's amazing.
The road to hope.
Wow. And Barack Obama used that.
He did.
Also.
He did.
And that was when times were good, weren't they?
This week's episode of It's Judy Show with Judy Gold is sponsored by BetterHelp. And if you know me, which I think you do because you're listening to my podcast right now, you know that I am a big advocate for therapy. I think it benefits everyone. I think there's so many people who need it, who don't partake. It is so important for your emotional health and well-being. Therapy is fantastic. It is in every stretch of the imagination. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, please do it. But please give BetterHelp a try. It is entirely online. It's designed to be convenient. It's flexible. It suits your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. I have switched therapists in my life. I've had many, many therapists, and sometimes it's not a great fit for you, but don't give up. Therapy is beneficial. You can learn about yourself, you can process, and just be emotionally healthy. I'm telling you, do it. BetterHelp is great because, when I used to schlep to my therapist's office, it was so annoying. You have to do it, and you sit there and you wait, and then I'm telling you, doing it online is fantastic. And BetterHelp is amazing. I know a lot of people who've used it. So if you're thinking about therapy, go to BetterHelp.com. Let the gratitude flow. This is Gratitude Month, people. So you need to let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/JudyGold, JudyGold, today, and you will get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JudyGold. You're welcome.
Okay, so I ask my guests, all my guests get 2 questions.
Okay.
Ready?
Oh, you asked me?
Yeah, I asked you.
All right. Do I have to tell the truth? I will.
All right. So I'm very pro mental health because I've had a bad clinical depression. I have anxiety. You know. So we always ask if you've ever been on antidepressants, or we're very pro whatever you do to keep your mental health.
I have never been on antidepressants.
Wow. I knew it.
But I think it's because I'm involved in an organization called Peace Love, which you should know about, that does art therapy for people with mental health issues.
Really?
Yeah. And it's profound. You just paint. Just do some painting. You'll be fine.
Okay. I want to learn about Peace Love.
Do you want to speak at Peace Love?
I'll speak at Peace Love.
I'll send you up there. You can speak this spring. It's incredible. I mean, it's in Rhode Island, and this great guy who had obsessive compulsive disorder, debilitating, started painting, and he found that it gave him peace of mind. It freed him because, when you're an artist and you get involved in something, it does that thing of it takes you out of time. Right. It takes you away from all the nagging things that you obsess over, and you sort of lose yourself. Right. And it can be a great relief.
Yeah, I do that. Music does that for me.
There you go.
Play the piano.
Did it for Einstein too.
Yeah. Well, we're very...
Just saying.
Okay. So do you meditate? I meditate as well.
I have had my run-ins with meditation.
Yeah.
And I really like it.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me. I got to do it more.
Okay. Well, that's what happens when you meditate. It's the bell,
Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
Okay. All right. And then, the podcast is called Kill Me Now because basically I say kill me now about 100 times a day, as you can see when I started talking about orange, So what pisses you off? Like, what makes you so fucking pissed off? Like, you can't fucking believe it. Like that. Ugh.
My most irrational thing, actually is, there are a lot of things,
right?
But the thing that has almost gotten me killed twice,
really,
littering.
Oh,
when people litter,
they throw shit on
my hair catches on fire. I get so fucking pissed off.
I tap them on the shoulder and go.
Well, that's what I did. I said to this bike messenger who threw some shit, I said, "Hey man, why don't you pick that up and throw it in the garbage?" And he took a knife out of his thing. I was like, "Never mind, I'll be running."
No way.
Yeah, he was just going to stab me.
But it's like
I told him not to litter.
It's when you see them do. It's like, it's so upsetting. Like, you just throw shit on the fucking ground. Like, this is our space.
Yeah, it's bad.
What was the second time you almost got killed? He took a knife.
It was a bunch of teenagers who were knocking over, they were throwing shit around. I was like, come on, you guys, pick that shit up and put it in the garbage.
Right.
And they got all puffed up and stuff. And I wasn't really afraid of them, but they were scary a little bit.
And this was in New York.
Yeah.
I find it's so, ugh.
Yeah, kill me. I mean, these people that litter. Right. Come on.
I know, it's disgusting. And there's a fucking garbage.
Right there.
On every corner.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Did I miss anything?
What else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else that gets
Wait, we need to I could go on and on and on. Okay. So you Mazel Tov, you have 2 grandchildren. And your son is an actor, Sam.
He is.
And what does your daughter do?
She is
Fulbright.
Fulbright. She's a lot of things. She's a weird and spectacular person. She's a Fulbright scholar. She's an actor. She's done some stand-up.
Really?
Yes. And apparently had some success, but decided not to do it.
Why? It's such a great life. Tell her to call me. I'll tell her how great it is, especially as you get older. Yeah.
She speaks 5 languages.
No, she doesn't.
She does.
She's like Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah, she is. And she is now... she just went to the International Culinary Center, and she's cooking at a Michelin star restaurant.
No way.
Cafe Balud.
Oh yeah. Well, I just ate there a few weeks ago.
Well, if you had an appetizer, she probably made it for you.
Wow.
Yeah. So she's a really interesting and spectacularly smart. We have this thing in our family where if we're not Googling things. If we're having a controversy about something,
right?
We'll say, let's call Emmeline and ask her.
Really?
She will. She does.
She knows everything. Any gays in your family?
Let me see. Since my dad, no, and I keep waiting.
That's unbelievable.
I keep waiting. There's got to be
someone's got, yeah.
Maybe someone's not telling. Still, does that still happen? No, not
no,
really.
not with. If you were, it's you. Like,
yeah, I remember when I told my kids that their grandfather was gay.
Yeah.
And it had been such a big deal for
right.
me. And I sat them down. I said, I have to tell you something. Your grandpa Jimmy was gay. And they looked at me and they're like, "Can we go play, Dad?" I mean, it was like that.
It's unbelievable.
Like, oh, what? I was like, oh my.
They don't give a shit.
Okay, so
they don't give a shit.
They really don't.
I know. Like when I used to say to my kids, like, "Oh, is there anyone at school who's like really nerdy and gets picked on? I want because that was me. I want you to defend them." And they're like, "Mommy, people don't get picked on. Okay, no one like does that in New York City." I'm like, "Oh, all right."
They don't give a shit.
I know that might not be true, but you know what?
Their school, good for them.
Right. I mean, they don't care if anyone's trans or they could give two fucking shits.
Yeah, they really don't. And
then we have.
I know, but let me just say that I'm going to try to be optimistic. And
okay.
You might want to kill me, but it's like watching one of those, like the line in the stock market.
Right.
Like the trend is upward.
Right.
Right. Like we're in a down thing, but it's going in the right direction because of what you just said. There are so many kids out there that.
Right. I just can't believe that this person is. It's not even a person. It's the president of the fucking union. All right, and then we can end. But I have to tell you something that happened to me 2 days ago. I get out of the train station at Penn Station. I go to get a cab. I wave the cab down, and you know how they flash their lights. Uh-huh. So the guy, it was a big one, so I was excited. The guy flashes his brights. I start walking across the street. Some guy's walking behind me. Goes right in front of me, gets in my cab. I say to the driver, like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh," like gives me this. I said, "What are you doing?" Like, too bad. And I'm like, "What the fuck is the matter with?" Like, how I am. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh yeah," he calls me a bitch, starts talking about my ass and I'm ugly. Like it just completely, I go, I'm like, what? I'm cursing and whatever, uh-huh. I was so mad. And I said, "Oh, you voted for Trump. I bet you voted for Trump, didn't you? You fucking voted for Trump." He goes, "Yes, I did." And it was, I'm doing a shorter version of it. I really was screaming at him and he was giving me the finger and calling me a bitch and telling me I'm ugly and I have a terrible body, And so finally I'm like, "You did. And I should have taken my fucking phone out, but I didn't. And it was so upsetting. And then I posted about it on Twitter. I said, this guy just, ran in front of me. The cab driver really pissed me off too. But and then people are calling me Jussie Smollett, like that I made up the whole story. And then... And even my sister's like, "Did that really happen? Why would you even ask him?" I'm like, because this is what he has unleashed. The behavior like this.
Well, I was telling you that, on the way here, there were people screaming at each other in the subway, getting in a fight. I think that we're angry. This country is angry right now. I noticed that during the holiday season, as they call it, here in New York, everybody's always stressed, but this year it was ugly.
I know.
People are angry and it's terrible. Where are we going to go? New Zealand. They don't want us. They're full.
At least they changed their gun laws.
So there you go.
Tim, I cannot thank you enough for doing this podcast.
It's been my honor.
No, you are, first of all, you're a huge YUGE star. Your life... He's not Jewish. Huge. Okay. You're just like, and your life is fascinating and you're like perfect looking.
Oh, stop it. Don't objectify me.
And you're just like the greatest guy.
Well, I'm trying at least,
Yeah.
I haven't quit yet.
And I love that you love New York more than LA.
I do.
Yeah, me too.
Again, it's like you get to experience your life. You know, you're standing there. Like I was in the subway when the people were having the fight.
Right.
And everybody was upset about the fight that they were having. And I experienced it with other people. I like being with human beings.
Right. And also, everyone's not in show business in New York.
No.
And you don't just sit in your fucking car, you know, hours and hours every day. But I love everyone who's listening in LA. There are parts of LA that I do love as well, like the hiking and the weather.
I'm not a hater, but you know, there's this.
I'm just a New Yorker.
There's this, perception that LA is like all laid back and everything. No, it's killers and flip flops.
Right.
It really is.
I know. And even the guy, I was going to say who pumps your gas, but no one pumps gas anymore. But
that'd be me.
Right.
I pump gas. It was one of my jobs.
Really?
Back before.
Did you get tips when you did that?
No, I went up running down in the middle of Route 9 outside of Boston, giving a guy the finger on his driver's window.
For
being an asshole to me.
Oh. Yeah, that's not a good job for you.
I'm not good in service shops.
We found a fault.
But when I got back to the gas station, which was filled with people, they gave me an ovation. Because
really?
They actually applauded for me because they witnessed the guy being an asshole to me.
Wow.
And they were on my side.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then you knew you wanted you wanted more applause.
Yeah. That was like
so you went into show business. Tim, I can't. Well, Mazel Tov on the grandchildren and the good fathering that you did of your 2 kids and your hot girlfriend.
Whew. Yeah, gotta go see her right now. I gotta go see my dog.
Is it Tia or Taya?
Taya.
I know.
You cheater.
You are the best.
You just got me.
I know.
You're good.
Thank you so much, Tim. You are the fucking best. I can't wait to see you at the gym. And as we always say, so long!
And everything was wonderful. I'll see you soon. Thank you for the visit. So long.